I'm Mayor Tony Gross, and I hereby call to order the July 16th, 2020 meeting of the Kingston Springs Beer Board. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 16, this meeting is being conducted with limited physical public access. The meeting is being made available, however, to the public participants via live video stream on the Zoom application. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Here.
Tony Gross.
Here.
Mike Hargis, absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Here.
Glenn Remick.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. So we only have, so first item is motion to approve the June 18th. Oh wait, sorry. I have my meetings mixed up here. I apologize.
And Mayor, could we jump in there and just get a formal motion from the board members that this be conducted electronically in light of the COVID situation? You may go through that exercise.
Do I have a motion to conduct this meeting as a in the electronic format?
Motion, Glenn.
Second,
John. Yeah.
Second, Jeff. Okay. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. We have a quorum, and we have approval to conduct it electronically. Do we have a motion to approve the March 19th, 2020 meeting minutes?
Motion to approve, Jeff.
Do we have a second?
Second, Glenn.
Second, Glenn. All right. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Do we have a motion to approve the July 16th, 2020 Beer Board meeting agenda?
Motion to approve. Glenn.
Second, Jeff.
John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Under new business, we have item A, which is a motion to approve special event beer permit request by Habitat for Humanity of Greater Nashville for an event at the Golf Club of Tennessee, Kingston Springs. Do we have a motion to approve the special event beer permit?
Motion to approve, Jeff.
Second, Glenn.
John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Glenn.
Second, Jeff.
John?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Meeting is adjourned. Don't you guys just love Zoom? All right. Next meeting.
Next meeting.
I'm Mayor Tony Gross, and I hereby call to order the July 16th, 2020 meeting of the Kingston Springs Board of Commissioners. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 16, this meeting is being conducted with limited physical public access. The meeting is being made available, however, to the public participants via live video stream on the Zoom application. John, could you please call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Here.
Tony Gross.
Yeah, here.
Mike Hargis, absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Here.
Glenn Remick.
Here.
All right, do we have a motion to approve conducting this meeting in the Zoom format?
Motion, Glenn.
Second.
Second, Josh.
John?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. We can move on.
Yay.
Do I have a motion to approve the June 18th, 2020 public hearing meeting minutes?
Motion to approve, Jeff.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
They're too quick. I give up. Y'all take them. Y'all just
We
take them.
got a conspiracy against you tonight, Josh.
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Do we have a motion to approve the June 18th, 2020 City Commission meeting minutes?
Motion
Motion
to approve.
Glenn.
Jeff.
Josh, would you like this one?
Gosh.
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Announcements from the commissioners. I'll start with Glenn.
I'd like to bring to everyone's attention the fuel depot that's being proposed in Burns. It affects Kingston Springs. It affects our water as the Turnbull Creek is close by. If they were to have some sort of a spill, it would affect the water quality in the Turnbull, which would then affect our drinking water. I would hope the people of Kingston Springs could be proactive in stopping or moving forth to try to deter this from being built. There is a social media page, Stop Dixon Fuel Terminal, which people can get more information on. But I do not know how the city would feel about taking a proactive, because it is our drinking water. So I would like to see if maybe the city might consider taking a position and of concern with this project. Second, I want to just put out appreciation to Nate and Lindsay Palazzi for taking on Hank as they have from beginning to now. I think it's fantastic, the story of Hank and how he's has come to Kingston Springs and plans to stay in Kingston Springs. So I wish to honor those guys and appreciate, send a thank you to them for being such good caretakers of Hank. That's it.
Jeff?
None.
Nothing from Jeff. All right. Josh?
Yes. Kind of want to talk about just a second, the graph that came out. I'm sure most of you saw it on social media today about the COVID cases by zip code. And I think Glenn and Tony, you guys chimed in. And I think as a city, we've got to be careful on the way we present information and how it comes across, and make sure we present all the information. If you read exactly what came across on the town of Kingston Springs, the verbatim, it says the 37082 zip code currently has the highest COVID case rate in Cheatham County.
That seems to be true.
It's true, but there's more information that could go along with that would be very helpful and not stir up just a lot of craziness. So it's it absolutely needs to be out there, but we need to present all the information that needs to go with it. So,
yeah, I mean, I appreciate you kind of broke down the numbers some. I think that it is, that's just that's what the state presented. Those are state generated charts. So
it's dead on. It's just we don't want to participate in that headline news. If we're presenting information, we're not news media. Let's give all of the residents the actual facts that kind of, because we know they're not going to read into it. They're going to read that one sentence.
Yeah,
they're going to read. So I think we all know where we're at on that. Glenn, I just had a question for you. Do you know, in the process, I've been reading a lot on that Burns fuel terminal, but I can't really understand where they're at in the process and what's next.
I'm not quite sure on that. Everyone's still writing letters, and we now have the Harpeth Conservancy on board, and they're one of the more vocal and have the best connections at a state level. So they're going to kind of take point on this aggressively. So I am waiting to just be told. Right now, we're just still writing letters and gathering money. I don't know where they're at. I believe it passed the Planning Commission in Dixon. So I am out of touch on what the next meeting is.
I don't see a lot of roadblocks in the way. There's not. So
it will be if again, Harpeth Conservancy is on board, and with that organization, we have stopped a lot of projects that endangered the river system, and that's just, though with the president's recent removing some obstacles for the Environmental Protection Agency, so we don't know how that's going to affect everything. So it's just right now we can just be vocal and concerned and educate ourselves on what is happening with this project. So
John, can you
All
take Brandy off mute?
Yeah,
Brandy.
I'm trying
Brandy.
to. Sorry, Brandy. There you go.
I read today that it passed Board of Zoning, sent it back to the Planning Commission, and then the Planning Commission was going to have a meeting, and then they did the electronic thing, and it's, I think, July 24th now. The Board of Zoning sent it back to the Planning Commission to make the decision, and now it's, I want to say it's July 24th. I could be wrong on that date, but it's been postponed.
Okay.
thank you, Brandy.
Okay. Now that we're through announcements to commissioners, can we move on to community input and concerns? We do have one member of the community here, Mr. Vedito. Are you wanting to say anything to the commission?
He's on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
was just watching. I have nothing to say yet.
Okay. Well, this is the opportunity if you have something to say. So, all right, we'll move on.
Well, Todd is a member too. So Todd.
Yeah, Todd, would you like to? Did you have anything?
No, just I've watched all the meetings up to this point from last year to now. I'm just making sure I stay informed as I'm running for commissioner. So
Very good. Very good. All right. Introduction of Jamie Dupree as Kingston Springs City Reporter. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Jamie.
Hey.
I think everybody knows Jamie. I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce her as our new city recorder. Jamie's been with the town since late last year, serving as assistant city recorder under Debbie's tutelage, and will continue to work with Debbie as the financial director, as well as work with Doris and everybody else at City Hall. I think Jamie's been an excellent addition to the town. She's progressing nicely through her CMFO qualifications as she goes monthly for her grueling testing, and just happy to have her aboard, and wanted to take this public forum to introduce her and say welcome and congratulations as a new city recorder.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. All right. Legal updates?
Yeah, I have a few, a couple of them I'm sure everybody's pretty well already aware of. By executive order, the governor has extended, of course, our ability to continue to meet like this till the end of August. And that's currently what we're in place doing. As everyone is also aware, county mayor has opted not to mandate masks in our county. That authority did not, the governor's order did not extend that authority down to individual municipalities. So it was what the county mayor determines is what will be enforced, not only in county limits, but municipal limits as well. And then one other item, not COVID related, Purdue Pharma is, of course, a manufacturer of opioid and has been involved in quite a bit of litigations, filed bankruptcy. Some of you all may have seen some information coming across from MTAS about filing a claim in the bankruptcy court to potentially try to recoup expenses of counties and states and towns that were related to the opioid epidemic. I have gone over that with John. John has reached out to Debbie and I believe to Chief, and realized that the town of Kingston Springs really doesn't have much worth being reimbursed for from when they tallied everything up. For example, like the Narcan products and things like that, that really has not been an expense that the town has borne. So we will not be filing anything at that point in the bankruptcy.
All right, thank you. Unfinished business is item A is motion to approve second reading of Ordinance 20-005, amending certain portions of the town of Kingston Springs personnel policy.
If you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, and I'll let Martha Brooke expand on this, but the short story, as I try to allude in the email and the packet that I sent out, is that initially, and please Martha Brooke, correct me if I'm wrong, but initially the town's personnel policies were adopted by ordinance, and changes as we've gone through to these personnel policies then were done by ordinance. However, our municipal code indicates that changes to the personnel policy should be done by resolution rather than ordinance. So And you'll see in new business 12B and new business 12F, the process that we're using to try to rectify this, so that with this particular motion, and actually it was this ordinance that sort of, as we were sending information back and forth to MTAS, they are the ones that alerted us to the fact that we really should be making these changes via resolution rather than via ordinance. So it's staff's opinion that this particular ordinance fail and just sort of let die on the vine, as they say. And then with new business 12B and new business 12F, we will then change our course, and additions or changes made to the personnel policy then moving forward would be done via resolution rather than ordinance. Did I kind of encapsulate that, Martha Brooke?
You got the full picture on there, John.
Okay, good.
We are essentially, in a nutshell, voting no on the upcoming ordinance, and then approving an ordinance to repeal that process, and then voting on a resolution in place of this ordinance.
Exactly.
Okay.
The town first adopted its personnel policy by ordinance in 1992. And so we have just picked up amending that ordinance, from here on out. Didn't really have call to dig around and see, was there another process to do it by? And that's when MTAS alerted us to that. So this is the fix that we have determined. What we didn't want to do, the reason why I put the repeal in there, is we didn't want to also simultaneously have a standalone ordinance with the personnel policy that will never be amending going forward. So that's why we're doing the repeal of that 92 ordinance and its amendments. And then moving forward, we will have it passed by resolution.
So we're repealing the original, or just?
Yes, because it's an ordinance, so if it's not repealed, then it will continue to exist and be effective because it doesn't have a sunset in it or anything like that. And so I didn't want us to go through having the personnel policy that we passed by resolution pursuant to our code, and then still have this outstanding ordinance out there with personnel policy on it.
Makes sense.
All right. Then I suppose we, is there a motion to approve second reading of ordinance 20-005?
Motion to approve ordinance 20-005. Wait.
Josh.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Second.
Second, Jeff.
John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
I thought the correct answer was no.
A yes vote on this means that you want to approve this, and it's not our recommendation that you do.
Not the recommendation. That's okay. We can all, now we know what the staff recommendation is. So, would you like to change your vote?
Change a vote to no, Josh.
Tony Gross.
No.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
No.
Glenn Remick.
No.
All right. Motion fails. On to new business. Item 12A is discussion of modifying speed bumps on Page Road.
I sent with that meeting packet information. I'm sorry if I'm sharing my screen and I'm scrolling so fast, but I sent information with the meeting packet on the speed bumps that we have initially installed on Page Road. When we saw them in the catalog, and even when they were unloaded off the truck, the specs for those speed bumps seemed desirable. They're 2 5/8 inches tall by 12 inches wide, which seemed about the tact that we wanted to take. It doesn't seem like 2 5/8 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but once you get them installed on the road, they are a bit severe, I think is the right word that we want to use here. So I presented a couple of other options that we see that are readily available. Option one, the width has gone from 12 inches to almost 14 inches. The height has gone down from a little over 2.5 to 2. And then option two would have the width going from 12 inches to 14 inches and the height going down to 1 1/4. So we are open to replacing them, of course, and the ones that are there now, Chief Ivy has indicated that we had needed some actually truck stops in Fire Hall 1 to use just as a safety precaution. So they will not go to waste. The ones that are out there now will definitely be used, but wanted to present additional options for your consideration.
So anyway, well, I guess I have a couple of things on this. The first thing is, do we need 3 of them at that? Or is maybe 1 sufficient? I don't know. Three seemed like that's quite a lot. And then my other question is actually to Chief Ivy, of these potential options here. What are your thoughts?
I think the wider we can get them, the better it will be. And yes, I think we need to stick with 3. And the reason is, if not, the way they're spaced out seems to be keeping traffic at the end of Page Road from becoming so excessive between there and the fire hall.
Okay.
Maybe
So,
if I could jump in there with legal counsel, and I'm sorry, my dog is about to bark. I would note that the ones that we currently have in there give me greater pause than the ones that are 1 1/4 inch in height. Those have been used fairly successfully in Metro. I know Pigram now has ones more along the option 2 lines in there. It potentially causes less damage to vehicles that we would have to deal with from a liability perspective.
so yeah, I really like this option 2 look here. That looks kind of like it's more of it's going to notify you that you're moving over a bump, but it's not going to damage or jar the passengers. So.
Well, it says those are only a 9-foot length. I've already noticed people are going off to the left already into that dirt shoulder and driving around. Are those going to be significantly shorter?
The current ones are, we actually have 2 laying side by side. The current ones are 6 foot in length. So actually we would do the same. We would go side by side. So these would actually extend a little bit farther. And we can always modify as needed just to make sure that they have enough coverage so that people can't scoot around. We're also, and we've ordered the signs. Actually, they came in earlier this week, that there will be signs placed indicating that there are speed bumps so people not familiar with that road will know. Those signs can also be strategically placed so that they will help deter people going around the speed bumps.
A post would do the same, but this is my opinion.
Like I said, I on really only one occasion, I've actually been, if you drive the speed limit down there, I've been passed in that one open grassy spot. So it is possible. So yeah, if the sign was strategically placed in an area such as that, because that's a pretty dangerous situation when people do stuff like that. When you, I've done my own little experiment in Kingston Springs, and when you drive the speed limit, people get really mad at you. I know. So,
Try driving the Prius, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm inclined, I think, especially from this conversation, towards option 2, though, the lower, wider bump. It sounds like, from Martha Brooks' legal perspective, that would also probably be the most prudent choice for the town. So,
I personally agree with Chief Ivy. Yes.
So.
Okay. And just for procedural clarification, and I'm fine either way, but would this need to be a motion to remove and amend the speed bumps that are on Page Road for option 2 presented?
Yes, it would be a motion. Yeah, motion to remove those, purchase the option 2, and install them.
Okay.
Motion, Glenn.
All right, second.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, second. Josh Adderley?
Yes.
Tony Gross?
Yes.
Mike Hargis is absent. Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Item B is a motion to approve first reading of Ordinance 20-006, repealing Kingston Springs personnel policy ordinances.
Goes back to what we just covered. So this,
Item A.
this gets rid of the 1992 ordinance and its amendments, so it will not be a standalone policy that would eventually be in conflict with the resolution we'll be passing tonight.
And this is the one we're encouraged to vote yes on.
Yes, vote yes on this one.
The staff recommendation on this would be, I
Correct.
Hey,
Motion to approve.
really quick. John,
yeah.
can you check? Mike said he can't get into the meeting.
No, he's here.
I'm on.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we got Mike here. Really quick, Martha Brooke, is there a procedure for when a commissioner comes into a meeting? Or
Sure, just note that he, just as if he had walked,
acknowledge it?
just note for the record that he's here.
Okay, so Mike, welcome.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late here.
No problem. Okay, so we had did we have a motion on ordinance 20? I believe we did, right, Josh? Or no, Jeff?
Yeah,
Jeff?
motion to approve.
And do we have a second?
Second, Glenn.
Is there any discussion? All right, no discussion. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Atherley.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis.
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
I can't tell if Josh is frozen or if he's just very still.
Very
Okay.
still.
Yeah.
You're in
You
the
just never
trans-
know in these things if people are just, like maybe they just got frozen on the screen. So, all right. Item C is a motion to approve resolution 20-007, a 3% sewer fee increase.
There's not a lot of discussion. This was part of the budget and needs to be a standalone to approve, and then we will publish the new rates as well as send a formal letter to Mr. Zimmerman at 2nd South Cheatham.
And as you recall, we had a sewer study done, and the recommendation from the sewer study that we had done, I believe it was a year ago now, maybe 2 years ago, was
Right.
to continue proceed as we were to maintain a healthy sewer fund, wastewater fund. So, do we have a motion to approve resolution 20-007?
Motion to approve, Glenn.
Second.
Second, Jeff.
Any discussion?
Yeah, one question, John. Do you know how our rates on the sewer fund compare to other towns our size?
They are in line, very comparable.
Even after the 3% increase?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's somewhere between the 2 and 4, which is we hit right in the middle, is pretty common.
Okay. That's all I need.
All right, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Atherley.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis.
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Item D is a motion to approve resolution 20-008, support of dinner on Main event.
Brandy and I have had a lot of discussion on this. We've actually even met with the chefs to discuss if we could have dinner on Main, what would dinner on Main look like this year with the current orders in place. Those current orders go to the end of August. We've waited as long as we possibly can. Initially, dinner on Main scheduled for September 13th. With the current orders in place, we couldn't have a gathering of more than 50 people. Everybody would have to be socially distanced. So dinner on Main, as we know, it would look very, very, very different. We can't wait until the end of August to determine what's going to happen after that because we need to start ordering food, getting things prepped. ordering all the other utensils and plates and bowls and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. So long story short, we are postponing Dinner on Main to the spring. Hopefully everything will be much better. But Brandy has sent an email out to the primary participants today. They understand. I do believe. Brandy, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I've heard from all of them. They're not happy, but they understand, and they're dealing with their own issues at their own restaurants, so they get it.
And I think that, you know, Dinner on Main is such a wonderful event, and we want to provide the best service and the best that event can be. And under the current circumstances, we could still pull off a pretty good event, but it just would not be the same. So I don't think we would, at this point, would be able to bring the experience that we would like to bring. So we're going to postpone. We had talked in the past about doing one in the fall and the spring both. So this might give us an opportunity to see what a spring event would look like.
I will say all the chefs were on board with postponing it. They said they hate it, but they understand, and they would do the same.
Yeah.
I think it's a wise choice.
Yeah. So long story short, this then resolution will not be needed at the moment.
Okay.
Tickets are not going to be on sale this Saturday, right?
Tickets will not be on sale. And I haven't posted anything to the community, but I will this evening. I wanted to wait and discuss it here first.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
The original spirit of Dinner on Main, to be clear, is a fundraiser for the city to showcase the farmers market. What the reason I ask is I've seen, you know, I think some of our downtown businesses may need some help. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with Sky King and some of these other businesses at that point, but I've seen. Do you think there's a possibility of just doing a cheaper ticket and a Zoom dinner at home in support of our local businesses? I've seen that. They're kind of hokey, but you know, I'm worried about these guys downtown.
Yeah, and to your point, a couple of things. That yes, Dinner on Main was initially started as a fundraiser for the Farmers and Artisans Market to one showcase the food local growers that we have here and what could be done with that produce by, you know, the wonderful local chefs that we have that live here in Kingston Springs too. We've also sort of expanded that and had planned on expanding that this year rather than just benefiting the farmers market, since the farmers market falls under the umbrella of the Parks Department, that we would use some of the funding that we gained as that benefit towards the Parks Department as a whole, rather than just specifically to the farmers market. For Dinner on Main and the downtown businesses, they volunteered all of their services, volunteered all of their personnel, volunteered all of their spaces and facilities. So I would love to give back to them in some way. So
you know,
that's something that certainly that Brandy and I can talk about to see if there's something that maybe we can arrange, whether it's not an in-person, maybe it is something that we could do that would help as many of them out as we possibly could along the same lines with the same chefs.
What I've seen done is you basically order a ticket just as you did before, but you pick up a basket, or I mean, it could be a pizza, but it goes to, you know, everybody's eating dinner tonight in Kingston Springs as part of a community effort.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd not heard of that. That's an interesting idea.
Actually, John, Hal and Deb both mentioned something along that line, but in accordance with the dinner. So I'm pretty sure all the chefs will be open to discussions on that, because if you remember, our next plan was if we didn't get to have the dinner, something along that line. So
I mean, part of the dinner is the social event, so I don't know what the participation would be, but you know, if we are supporting struggling local businesses,
having the farmers market that Thursday night benefited the businesses downtown tremendously. Every one of them said, we have to do this again. That alone benefited a lot of businesses.
That's great.
I
They
think
were real
that's
thrilled.
a good idea. And we're gonna, hopefully Lindsay can hang in here with us just for a minute, because we do have a special guest for when we get to the end of the agenda that's joined us for the meeting virtually. So hopefully, when we get there, I'm sorry, Lindsay, just hang on for just a minute. I just wanted to make sure you got on in time. But when we get to Officer Hank, we have Officer Hank joining us. Pretty exciting. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for that idea. And Brandy and I will work with the chefs, and then we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay, so do we need to just forego that resolution then, correct?
Correct. You could ask for a motion, and then if nobody gives one, you can just, say, this, I've received no motion, moving on. All
right, do we have a motion? Hearing no motion, we will move on to item E. Sorry, I didn't give you much time on that. A motion to approve Resolution 20-009, authorizing the town of Kingston Springs to participate in Public Entity Partners Safety Partners Matching Grant Program.
Public Entity Partners has 2 or 3 grants that come up through the year that we have used in the past. One of them is the Safety Partners Grant. It's a 50-50 grant. We have used that in the past. We currently have funds allocated for purchases, just like we've had in the past. We were basically, the short story is we would be planning on buying this equipment anyway, but with the Safety Partners Grant, they will pitch in up to a $3,000 or $4,000 amount, half of that. So it doubles our money whenever we're going to purchase things. Jeremy has a list of items that he had planned on purchasing that were allocated that will fall under the umbrella of this grant. So if I had that list in front of me, I would share that with you, but I don't. So they are safety related for both the police department or the public safety department and the fire department. And this resolution is a requirement for that grant.
Very good. Excellent. Do we have a motion?
I move that we adopt the ordinance to participate in the safety partner matching gift program.
Resolution, okay. Do we have a second?
Second, Josh.
All right, John?
Josh Etherly?
Yes.
Tony Gross?
Yes.
Mike Hargis?
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz?
Yes.
Glenn Remick?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Okay, now on to item F, which is the third part of our kind of convoluted personnel policy process here. Motion to approve Resolution 20-010, adoption of Kingston Springs personnel policy. So this is the same policy we adopted last meeting as an ordinance. The only difference is now it's a resolution.
You're actually re-adopting your entire existing personnel policy.
But it's a resolution.
With the changes that the ordinance that fell tonight had intended to accomplish.
Perfect. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Glenn.
Good. Second. I think we had Mike was the motion to approve. Glenn, were you?
Second.
No,
Glenn.
it wasn't Mike.
Oh,
Josh.
Josh.
No, I'm sorry.
Josh.
Jeff.
Whoever wants it. There's a bunch of people talking.
Okay.
Can we do it again? Motion to approve 20-010.
Second.
Second, Glenn.
Okay, John, call the roll.
Josh Etherly?
Yes.
Tony Gross?
Yes.
Mike Hargis?
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz?
Yes.
Glenn Remick?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right. Motion to approve first reading of Ordinance 20-007, Tennessee Rules of the Road. And I believe Martha Brooks sent you a letter on this a few hours ago.
Sure. And I'd be happy to take any questions. It just basically is the town is adopting for its own ordinances certain state statutes with respect to driving. And I sent out that list. I thought that might be helpful for you guys to kind of have an idea of what we're talking about.
Were there any major changes? Obviously, I wasn't super familiar with what.
Sure. There's a lot more that you're actually adopting at this point than what was in our codes. For the most part, when people would get pulled over, there were few things that could be brought into municipal court. By passing this kind of broadens that spectrum. An officer would have the option of citing them into municipal court, or if it's county deputy, they could cite them still over to sessions, depending on if they cited under our ordinance or under state statute.
All right. Any additional questions? Do I have a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 20-007?
Motion to approve, Glenn.
Do we have a second?
Second, Josh.
Any discussion? John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. And now, Hank, you've been such a good boy, and we're getting to you. So, all right, we have surplus items. Well, we're going to say we're surplusing one item, and then we'll get to the next thing because we're not going to surplus because that's not right. Okay, do we have a motion? I'm splitting these completely because I just don't feel right about doing that way. So we have City Hall has a Toshiba 14-inch TV VCR combo. Do we have a motion to surplus?
Make a
Motion to surplus.
Second?
Second.
John, call the roll.
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. And then the next item is the commission's approval of the retirement of Canine dog officer Hank Palazzi, because he's going to be Hank Palazzi, right? So.
Motion to approve the retirement of Officer Hank Palazzi.
Second, Jeff.
Hey, change the screen.
There he is. Yeah.
There
I
he
didn't,
We can't see anything, but
I can see
Hold
him.
on.
Can you see him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
here we go.
There he is.
Meow. Meow.
Oh, man.
Very good. See that he's one of the most patient people that's ever attended one of our meetings.
Well, I was waiting for a car to drive by and him to just take off, so this is perfect timing.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
All right, we have a motion in a second. Don, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
Okay, and the most important part is the for Hank here is a motion to approve resolution 20-001 approving the transfer of retired Canine officer Hank to be given to handler for continued care and maintenance. I almost teared up a little bit there. So.
Motion to approve, Josh.
That
Second.
resolution is 20-011.
Oh,
Correct.
whoops. Motion to approve 20-011, Josh.
Second. Do we have
Mike,
a
second.
second? Mike is the second. All right, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes. And
Jeff
congratulations.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
Glenn, yes, you twice.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're officially retired, and you're officially have your family for the rest of your life. So
Yay!
I look forward to seeing you every day right across the street. So.
Yep.
Did they make the advocate or anything? I didn't see. Did we?
I contacted Randy Muma today, and I might even Dale. I know Randy's going to write a story about Hank. So
Good. Good.
Good.
So all right. Well, thank you for signing on.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Any other for discussion?
Nope.
Nothing else for discussion? Okay, our reminders are Harpeth High School graduation is this coming Saturday, July 18th. And the Kingston Springs Farmers and Artisan Market continues this Saturday from 9 to 12. Safety precautions for vendors and customers have been put in place. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Glenn.
I do a second.
Second, Josh.
John?
Josh Heatherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion adjourned. Good seeing you fellas. And
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Congrats, Jamie.
Ladies.
Thank you.
yes.